Yeah, I mean, we got through training okay today, so we'll field as strong a team as we can who are all ready to play for this week. So looking forward to getting up and having our last hit out before the season starts next week. It's not far away.
Are there any sort of match conditions? Do you have bigger benches, bigger squads, or anything like that, or is it?
Well, it's sort of up to the two teams that are involved, so which is good to give us some flexibility to be able to work through that. So both teams will probably have different agendas, but essentially we'll be trying to get as much footy into our blokes as we can. So we'll have a reasonable sized bench, but I'm not sure whether all of them will play.
Do you know much about Burp and Gary?
No, I don't know much about Burp and Gary. I've seen some photos of the ground. It looks like a terrific oval, great facility. So, and that's, you know, it's a good opportunity to get up there and finish off our work for the pre-season in against a team that we know has got some really good players, and we'll probably have some good strong players coming back in. Players like Jonathan Brown this week.
John, who's not playing this game?
Tippett, Goods. Sorry? Parker. Yeah, Parker won't play this week.
Obviously Tommy Walsh.
Tommy Walsh, yeah.
Any of those, what about Alex Johnson?
Alex Johnson won't play this week. We're hoping to be okay next week, so we're hoping that Parker should be right next week. He did a bit of training today, just no contested work, and we didn't want to take that risk with him this week. The chance of a rebleed, we didn't want to do that, so he's fine, but he should be available for next week. And Alex Johnson, we're hoping he'll be available for the reserves game next week.
Yeah, I saw that he was just sitting out a bit of that practice match sort of scenario.
Yeah.
Is that just?
He had a bit of a sore toe, so he just had a sore toe coming back into training. So he did about 30 minutes, and then his toe got a bit sore. He kicked his toe last week or something, I think.
Is there any more update on Kurt? I know you said unlikely for round one, but is there any more update on that?
Not yet. I mean, we're still 2 weeks away from, or a week and a half from round one, so we'll address that when we need to. Our focus is now on our players that are available for next week, and then we'll address Kurt sort of as that goes.
Are you actually treating this as sort of a dress rehearsal for round one? Are you seeing it as that important?
Well, I think every team that comes into the last week tries to sharpen up their starting lineup and their team and the way they want to play their football. Every team does that going into the last practice game, and we're no different. We want to make sure we've got our players in that didn't play last week. They'll be coming back into the team. All of those blokes will play, which is good. We'll get those blokes back in, and we play against a team that'll be also virtually full strength. So it's about trying to work as strong as possible brand of football as we can this week, as well as every opposition team's trying to do.
Any thoughts on Tuesday night's decision about the cost of living allowance?
It's disappointing that it's been taken away from the entire list. If there's some good to come out of it, it's an acknowledgement from the AFL that there is an expense associated with living in Sydney, and that's yet to be worked out. And the formula, I guess, will take some time before that gets worked out. But across the board, I'd imagine that there's disappointment that this hasn't been acknowledged across the whole playing group.
Do you think the recruitment of Buddy Franklin had a lot to do with it being taken away?
There was a working party that went to the States during the course of the year, and it was on the agenda then, firmly front and square in the agenda when that working party got back before Lance Franklin got here.
Well, what are you expecting from Buddy this week? Obviously, he had a fairly good hit out last week, but wasn't able to get that involved in the game.
Well, that's because we didn't have any inside 50s. So I'm hoping we get some pretty quality midfielders back this week, so I'm hoping to get some more ball forward. I mean, Sam Reid played really well the week before and didn't get much of the ball last week as well, so he didn't get much of the footy. So, Reid and Franklin and those blokes will play Pike, Roberts Thompson, some good game time this week, and hopefully we can get some more ball forward.
Is there someone sort of with their nose in front in terms of ruck options, sort of backing up Pikey?
Oh, look, Tommy Derricks has played the first couple of weeks and has been pretty strong in the ruck. Roberts Thompson's an opportunity there as well. Nankervis, and we're still going to make that call, the Nankervis Naismith, who we take to Brisbane this week. So Tommy Derricks has been pretty strong in that position for a couple of weeks and has had some good quality game time under his belt. And this week also Pike will get some more time in the ruck, which is important for him. He's played a bit of there last week and needs to play more there this week.
I saw LIT was playing a bit in defence last week. Maybe that was with Teddy being out, but today it looked like he was playing more forward. I mean, do you see him more as a forward? Oh,
he'll be flexible where we need him. He'll go where we need him, whether that's forward, back, or in the ruck at different times. And I'm sure during the course of the game it could be used in all three positions.
I know you asked about Luke Parker before, but is he looking okay for next week?
Yeah, he should be fine for next week. I mean, he did the training except for the contested ball work today, we didn't want the rebleed, so we put him away from the contested footy stuff, but that's not necessarily a weakness of his anyway. He's normally, I don't think many blokes put their hand up to play contested ball work against Luke Parker anyway, so we didn't have many volunteers.
Any of your youngsters are draft picks, any chance of pushing for round 1?
Yeah, there is. I mean, I mean, we still haven't settled on just who and why. I mean, we've got a priority to get our blokes that missed last week some game time, and we'll get them back in the team and playing together as a senior group. That's going to be the priority this week. We're still yet to make that call on who's going to put their head up for next week. There's still some spots available, but we know that those senior players are coming back in this week as well. So we'll make that decision after the weekend.
Any younger players you want to have a really good look at this week?
Well, we want to have a really good look at our senior group this week. I mean, we've had a good look at the younger players the last couple of weeks, and it's making sure we have a good look at our senior group that are ready for round 1 next week.
And just at the end there, you're having a bit of a chat with your co-captains. Is that just a general chat, or is there any sort of a message or anything happening there?
No, we're just trying to pick the team. No, it's just a general. I chat to them all the time. I hope it wasn't an issue.
Yeah. So is it proving difficult trying to pick a team?
Oh no, it's just a matter of positions and what we do. We have those chats all the time, so it's not that's nothing.
What did you think of the captains yesterday? They rated to the top 3. You're in there, obviously. Do you think about that sort of thing going into the season?
Not once. And everyone's got an opinion, and I don't spend any time thinking about it because unfortunately it's not really relevant.
But you do have your goals and obviously your expectations ahead of the season. Is it to make the top 4?
We don't sit there and make goals any year, and we didn't. We haven't over the last 10 years, and I'd imagine we won't going forward. We set to be ourselves to be as competitive as possible in every game we play, and where that ends up, with a little bit of luck, we don't know. But obviously, we're like a lot of teams. We want to finish up as high on the ladder as possible, but it's about making sure we get our processes right before we start sort of looking at those goals.